All right, so now that you have written down the notes in your green notes booklet on both pages here, we are going to turn to page 462, and you'll see that this yellow box up at the top at 462 is identical to what you copied down in your notes. So again, when we are given a scenario and we are to write the expression for that scenario, you're most likely given it in words. So it's described for you. We're only going to use the most important words. We don't care about the whole story itself, just what is actually going on in the problem. Biggest part to remember is when we're choosing a variable to use in our expression, choose something that represents the unknown quantity in the problem itself. So a lot of times x is the most common variable. If we always use x, sometimes that could get a little confusing. So sometimes choosing your variable to match what you're trying to find in the problem helps the reader understand what's going on. So if you're trying to find books, B would be a great variable, B for books. Inches, I for inches. Pages, P for pages. So choose a variable, and then you're going to write not only the variable, but also the operations and what numbers are attached to those operations as you are working through the problem. So let's scoot over to page 463, and we're going to do these 3 got it problems down here. So what I like to do when I'm writing expressions is I like to underline a few words. I'm underlining the numbers that I know I'm going to be using in my problem. I'm also going to underline some key words that are going to tell me what operation is going on, and then probably what my variable is going to be. So I know I'm working with 4. I'm trying to find points. So I'm going to use P as my variable. Fewer than tells me that it's subtraction. And if you look in here, fewer than, less than, let's add fewer than to our subtraction box in our notes here. So 4 points fewer than the Bulls scored. So if the Bulls scored something, we want to find 4 points fewer than what the Bulls scored. So we could do B minus 4 equals P. Or you end up doing P plus 4. So P plus 4 is how many points the Bulls scored. So 4 points fewer than the Bulls scored. Bulls minus 4 equals P is what you could do. Okay, all right, these two look different. What this part goes through or ends up being is you end up adding 4 to this outside source here, so you end up doing P plus 4. What I would do is do B minus 4. That's going to get you your answer here. Let's look at the next one. That probably wasn't the best one to start with here. 12 times the number of feet. So when we're looking at that, I see 12 times, I know is going to be multiply, and feet is probably what we're working with. Now, when we are working with multiply, we can write the number right next to our variable, kind of as our coefficient like we talked about before, and that's going to show that it's multiplying. So our expression would be 12F, 12 times the number of feet. And then the next one, the total cost of a shirt and an $8 pair of socks. So we're trying to find the total cost. So I know it's going to be adding of a shirt and $8. So let's do shirt plus 8. The shirt plus $8 is going to give us the total cost, but we don't need to write an equal sign because expressions are only the front half of an equation. So we're not going to include the equal sign here. So S plus 8, the total cost of a shirt and an $8 pair of socks would give us our total cost. All right, let's go down to the bottom. Got it, problem D, the same page, 463. Write the phrase $3 more than 4 times the cost of a pretzel. Here we have 2 operations going on. We have our $3, more than is plus, but then 4 times is multiply, the cost of a pretzel. $3 more than 4 times the cost of a pretzel. I'm going to use C as my label, or my variable, so we're looking with cost or working with cost, not pretzel, with cost. So order of operations tells me that when I'm solving this, I'm going to follow a certain pattern. But when you're writing the expression, You don't necessarily have to follow a certain pattern. I would start with the left and work your way there. So $3 more than. $3 more than is telling me it's 3 plus, if you look here, we have more than. 3 plus 4 times the cost. Now we can write those right next to each other just like we did up there. $3 more than 4 times the cost is going to give me a total of what I'm paying for. So we do 3 plus 4C. Okay, a couple more practice problems because these are tricky until you get the hang of it here. Page 464, next page, we're going to do the guided practice. We have a few problems here. So we're going to do the same thing again. 4 times more money than Elliot saved. So 4 times more money, 4 times money is what I would do. So we have 4M. Okay, multiply is what we're working with. Times is on there. 4 times what? Times the money that Elliot saved. So we don't really have to worry about this part of the equation, or the expression. We're just worrying about the from part here. Number 2, half as many pages as George read. Now half, we don't have that listed on ours. Oh, we do. We do. Right here under division. Half is under division. So I know that I'm going to be dividing half as many pages as George read. Pages is going to be my expression or my variable, but I'm not given a number. I don't know what the amount of pages read or what they're dividing by directly, but half is showing me that it's divided by 2. So I'm actually going to do P divided by 2. Half as many pages divided by 2 as George read. So we find the number of pages that George read, which would be right here, and divide that by 2, and you would get half as many. Okay, so P divided by 2 would be your expression for that. Next one, number 3, the width of a box that is 4 inches less than the length. Width of a box that is 4 inches less than the length. So I'm actually going to use W for width as my variable, and less than is subtract. So I'm going to do width equals 4, or W minus 4. Okay, so the width is 4 inches less than the length. No, not. Let's look at this. The width of a box that is 4 inches less than the length. I'm not going to do the width minus 4. I'm actually going to be doing the length minus 4. I'm going to make this a cursive L so you can see that it's L and not a number 1. L minus 4 would be your expression for that. Length minus 4 is going to give you the width. All right, now the next one, the cost of 5 CDs and a $12 DVD. When we have 2 different things that we're adding up for a total cost, we are buying 1 DVD, so we can just add $12 to the end because we're only buying 1 of them. However, we're buying 5 CDs. I don't know how much the CDs cost, okay? So I'm going to have to do a variable for them, and I'm just going to do C. I know that's for cost, but C for CDs. And I have to multiply 5 times the number of CDs, and then I add 12 to it. Once I do that, I would be able to find out my total cost. Okay? All right, 5C plus 12 would be my expression for that. Then let's do number 5. Number 5, Shoko bought a box of popcorn for $3.50 and 3 medium drinks. Define a variable and write an expression to represent the total amount they spent. Then find the total amount if 1 drink cost $1.50. Okay, so popcorn, $3.50. I'm just going to do popcorn, or P for popcorn, and I'm going to say $3.50 over here just for some little notes. And 3 drinks. So then they bought 1 of these. And drinks, they bought 3, but we don't know how much it is right now just for our expression. So total cost, we're probably adding something. So we are adding $3.50 plus 3 drinks. So we could do 3 times D. $3.50 plus 3D would give us our total amount if we didn't know how much the drinks cost. Now that we know how much the drinks cost, let's substitute that guy in for there and multiply that. So 3 times 150 multiply decimals here. Actually, let's do this over here. We're not going to use this bottom part. 0, 15, 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 1, 2. So 1, 2, we have $4.50 plus $3.50, $8. So 2 parts to this problem would be our expression and then also our total. So what I did was I multiplied $1.50 times 3 because I'm substituting this guy in for here. Then find the total amount if 1 drink costs $1.50. So if 1 is $1.50, I'm buying 3 of them. I have to multiply these guys together and then add my $3.50 to it. So I multiplied $1.50 times 3 and I got $4.50. And then I added $3.50 to my total and I got $8. That's my total cost if I bought 1 drink or 3 drinks and a popcorn. Okay, here's your homework for today. You're going to turn to page 467, which is the extra practice. Page 467. And you're going to do problems number 16 through 22. So you're actually going to be doing the whole page here. 16 through 22 on page 467. Just make sure that you're finding the variable that makes sense with the problem. Use your notes here if you need to. And those of you that are in class, make sure you ask if you need help. Otherwise, I'll be walking around. Let me know if you need help if you're at home virtually.